Yep, you read the title right. We're going to talk about why I want the Nintendo Switch to be successful.
Skip it up and that up.
Now, before we actually talk about the Switch in and of itself, and I have a couple news articles that I'm going to incorporate with my discussion of the Switch, I think a lot of you have read me wrong when it comes to Nintendo. A lot of you think I'm a Nintendo hater and that I want to see Nintendo fail, which kind of blows me away. But for those of you who are new subscribers, or for those of you who are relatively new who didn't unsubscribe due to my Alex Jones video, let me tell you my history with Nintendo. The reason why I'm standing in front of a bunch of bright lights right now talking about video games and doing Review Tech USA for a living is due to Nintendo. I'm going to keep it 100% honest with you. Nintendo made my passion for gaming that strong. I'm from an era where Atari was still relevant, the 2600. I grew up on the Atari 2600. That was one of the first consoles I played, if not the first console I played. My father, when ColecoVision was taking a shit, he went out and bought a ColecoVision with a bunch of games. I played that too. So I've been gaming for quite a while, but it was Nintendo that made me die hard about video games. I got Nintendo of Christmas. I used to think it was 1985. It was 1986, and I got the OG Nintendo Entertainment System bundle. Okay, I got the one with Rob the Robot and Gyromite. That proves how much of an old fart I am. Rob the Robot and Gyromite. That's how far we're going back. And I was head over heels over Nintendo. I was upset. Then they had Duck Hunt. I had Duck Hunt with the Nintendo Entertainment System. Then my parents went out and got me Kung Fu. Then they got me Balloon Fight. And it just grew from there. Then Castlevania. I told you guys my story about Castlevania and how for a graduation present, or my best friend's mom and my mom got us NES games, and my friend got Castlevania, and I got Donkey Kong Jr. Math. Guess which game was better? And then she saw I liked that game so much more. My friend's mom saw that I liked the game so much more. She went out and bought it for me, and later that day came over and brought me Castlevania. So Nintendo built my foundation when it came to my passion for gaming, my passion for technology, even beyond gaming. It all really started from Nintendo. And Nintendo actually brought me back into gaming. There was a time when I was 13, 14, even, 13 to 14, maybe even a little bit of 15, that I was kind of out of gaming. I was more so into music and stereos and Walkmans and stuff like that. And then I went with my friend John to Lechmere. It's a retail store that's long gone. And before the N64 came out, they showed a demo of Mario 64. They had an N64. They had to get Super Mario 64. And it just blew me away. It was like nothing you've ever seen before. And Nintendo did 3D right. I had PlayStation already was out. I saw some stuff with it. It was okay. It was cool, but it didn't blow me away. When I saw Mario 64, I had to have it. It brought me back into gaming and made my passion for gaming come back. So for anyone who thinks that I hate Nintendo, no. Nintendo is the reason that I'm here. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Nintendo reviving the video game market in the States, I know it didn't do the same thing overseas. The video game crash was virtually non-existent anywhere else in the world. It only really happened in the early 80s in the States. But if it wasn't for Nintendo establishing what a home console is with the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Famicom, there wouldn't be the industry that there is now. So as much as Nintendo has made a bunch of mistakes in the past few years, the reason we have an Xbox One, a PS4, and even PC gaming, you could say, pretty much is because of Nintendo. So why would I hate them? Why would I want to see them fail? Now, I've been back and forth on the Switch and rumors that I've heard. Okay, there's the Switch is being announced, and I think it's January 13th that Nintendo's holding their conference regarding the Switch, and we're going to find out a ton more information. And the rumor mill is insane right now. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming out from what seem like very credible sources, all the way from people who were former execs at Ubisoft that are saying great things about the Switch and pretty damn bad things about the Switch. So I have been back and forth, and I'm going to tell you like it is. And a lot of these rumors hold at least a grain of truth to them, because let's face it, before we knew the Switch was the Switch, I've mentioned this before, when it was the NX, a lot of the rumors, save for when they had that 3D printed oval little turd thing, a lot of the rumors were true. And they came to fruition when we found out what the Switch was when Nintendo revealed it on their YouTube channel. So it's interesting to look into these rumors and when the system's actually released to find out what was accurate and what wasn't accurate, because a lot of the rumors so far have been pretty damn accurate. The first one that I have here is actually regarding Ivan Sebastian Aaltonen. If I said his name wrong, I apologize. I've tried like 20 times to say it. He was a former senior rendering lead at Ubisoft and a co-founder of Second Order Limited. And what he says about the Switch is that direct ports from the PS4 and Xbox One to Nintendo Switch could not be possible. And this is exactly what he had to say about it. Around 50% of modern game engine frame time goes to running compute shaders, lighting, post-processing, anti-aliasing, ambient occlusion, reflections, etc. Maxwell's tiled rasterizer has zero impact on compute shaders. 25.6 gigabytes a second is pretty low, as everybody knows that 68 gigabytes a second of Xbox One isn't that great either. ESRAM is needed to reach good performance. He's referring to the Xbox One. But I am talking about the point of view of downporting current gen games to Switch. Switch certainly fares well against last gen consoles. I mean, he's talking about 7th gen still, seriously. And Maxwell's tiled rasterizer would certainly help older pixel plus vertex shader based renderers. Too bad last gen consoles already got their last big AAA releases a year ago. Easy ports between Xbox 360 and Switch are not available anymore. Xbox One is a significantly faster hardware. Straightforward code port is not possible. Content also needs to be simplified. And again, that's coming from Sebastian Aaltonen, who used to work for Ubisoft, so he kind of knows what he's talking about. Now, that sounds really disheartening, like, you know, Nintendo's going to be in the same boat as they were with the Wii U, where the Switch is going to be a generation behind current gen consoles. And now I've talked about things in the past before where the Switch seems like it can compete with the base Xbox One and PS4, but we keep on hearing things back and forth from a bunch of credible sources. Some say, oh, it could run Dark Souls 3. And then there's other sources like Sebastian from Ubisoft, or he used to work for Ubisoft, that says, no, it can't. It's pretty much, you know, if it could kind of compete with the 360 and PS3, but they're dead systems, so the Switch is kind of screwed when it comes to third-party games. So we're going back and forth here, and when I see these kind of rumors, I'm concerned. But then on the flip side, there's other good news that the Switch can actually run the full fleshed out version, not the mobile version, of Unreal Engine 4. I've talked about it before, where someone from NeoGAF actually went into the Unreal Engine code, or the Unreal Engine itself, and looked for information on the Switch. They found it and found that it runs the full version of Unreal Engine 4 at about medium settings, whereas the PS4 and Xbox One can run Unreal Engine 4 at high settings, but still the Switch is running the full version of Unreal Engine 4, which is a good sign. And I have some more information regarding Unreal Engine 4 that is more good news for the Switch. Takayuki Kawasaki, ask me how many times it took me to say that name right, he is the Epic Japan territory manager, and he has told different news outlets that the Nintendo Switch, many of the games being developed for it, are using the full version. Again, the full version. I keep repeating that because I said it even in my previous video, and a lot of people didn't hear me and just thought it was the mobile version that the Switch might be using of Unreal Engine 4. No, it's using the full version. Many of the games being developed for the Nintendo Switch are using Unreal Engine 4, and that's a good sign. And like I said in my previous video about Unreal Engine 4 and the Nintendo Switch, when that NeoGAF user looked into the Unreal Engine, he actually found all the information about the Switch, and it's actually running games at medium settings. So it seems like the Switch can handle Unreal Engine 4 pretty well. So we're hearing some negative news, like former EA execs that are saying that the Switch, yeah, you're not putting any kind of current gen games on it. Then on the flip side, we're hearing that Dark Souls 3 could run on it, and that it runs Unreal Engine 4 pretty damn well. So the information's all over the place. It's funny. We're about to, you know, the Switch is right around the corner. It's coming out in March. And now the information's more conflicting than it was before the Switch was announced. Like all the rumors when the Switch was still the NX seem to be more accurate and not conflicting like it is now. So it's kind of interesting how it is. The system is about to come out and we're getting more confusing information than we were in the past. So go figure. So even with my concerns about the Switch, and I'm going to keep it real with you, I wish Nintendo just made a really powerful conventional console for their 9th gen console. I wish they just came out with like a Scorpio Killer and a Project Scorpio Killer. That's Microsoft's beefier Xbox One that's coming out later this year. I wish they just came out with a conventional system that third-party devs could, had 7 teraflops of performance, and third-party devs can make 4K AAA games for it, no problem. That would be my dream come true. But what Nintendo's doing with the Switch as an adult excites me, because if the Switch is successful, I like where they're going with it in terms of having it be a portable and home console. And let me show you something real quick. Now, this is a NVIDIA Shield K1 tablet, okay? And this thing got me excited about where technology is going. Because on this tablet, okay, I have Borderlands 2, and I have Borderlands the pre-sequel, I have Doom BFG edition, and I have Half-Life 2. I even have Half-Life 2 Episode 1. And you sync up this controller. It has an HDMI port on it. Is it mini or micro? And they believe it's a mini HDMI port, not micro. You hook this up to your TV. This case actually folds back, so it kind of, leans up like a laptop. And on a big screen, you're playing Borderlands 2, and it's the same version that's on your 360 or PS3 or PC. And it runs pretty damn well. If I could get it to work, I'm not going to guarantee it, because there's HDCP copy protection on here. I used to be able to capture footage from this, and now I can't. And I would love to stream games. I may stream Borderlands 2 from it this week if I could get it to work. But the games run pretty much at least like they do on the 360 and 7th gen consoles. You're getting full console experiences, and I know the Switch is going to be way more powerful than this. You're getting full AAA gaming experiences on something you could, even though it's a tablet, if you have a big pocket, I'm a fat ass, I have a big pocket, you could put this in your pocket or your backpack. And it's much smaller than a laptop. This is a tablet, and it's a full-fledged console. And NVIDIA, to a degree, made it easy to use it as a console. You plug in the HDMI cable, it'll ask you, if you want to have it be full screen or you want to have it mirror the screen on the tablet. You hook up the controller, it's via Bluetooth, and you could sit on your couch and play games. It's kind of like this is like the rough draft of what the Switch is going to be. And that to me is an interesting premise, man. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm a father. I have a son who's going to be, in a couple days or a few days, he's going to be 3 months old. And it's not always practical to sit in front of a television when your son is crying, and obviously you got to take care of your kid, and that's your number one priority. And there's sometimes, you're going to have a baby on your lap, or you're going to be feeding him, or you're going to be changing his diaper, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes, they just, he's a 3-month-old. He may not want to sit in his swing, or he may wake up in the middle of the night and just want to be held. And, if he can't sleep, what's a great time killer if he's just half asleep on your lap and doesn't want to go back in his crib playing a game? And with the Switch, especially with the way they have the controllers that slide on, that to me is perfect, man. I could sit there and take my AAA experience around the house. And I like what Nintendo's doing with that. See, before the Switch, and at least from what I saw when Jimmy Fallon and Reggie Fils-Aimé was on there, how they had Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch, and he took it out and just started playing it right away. That's not, having a tablet-like console isn't a new thing, okay? Like I said, the NVIDIA K1 Shield did it. I did a video back in, 2012. If I remember, I'll have a link below in the description or whatever. Maybe I'll have one of those information things that pop out. You could click on that. Where I had a HTC Evo, was the 3D one, where it had the 2 cameras in the back. You could take 3D pictures, that when the whole craze was going on. And I had a cable hooked up to that where I was playing with a controller, Modern Combat, I think back then was 3 or 4, and I was playing on a little phone. So it isn't that it's new, but it was always a clunky experience. Even with the Shield tablet, they streamlined it the most. At least, I think the Switch will maybe do a better job. But it's still a little bit clunky. You plug it in, then you got to sync with the controller, and then it'll ask you if you want to go into mirror mode or full screen mode. And it's not the smoothest experience. Whereas when I saw the Switch, when Reggie Fils-Aimé took the Switch out of the dock on the Jimmy Fallon show, it was much smoother. And that, I think, is revolutionary. If I could have where, you know, and that's why I think Nintendo's commercial, when they first introduced the Switch, they catered more towards adults and young adults, is because they're showing how the system could go with you on the go. Oh, you need to take your dog out. Granted, it's kind of ridiculous, but if you need to take your dog out, he needs to, you know, you have him on a leash and he wants to take a leak. You could sit on a park bench and continue playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm thinking, okay, my son, you know, he wants a bottle or whatever the case may be. It's 2 a.m. He wants to sit on my lap and I can't go to sleep anyway. And I hate watching TV. I could take my Switch, put 2 controllers on the side and play Skyrim. The first game I thought of, or whatever the case may be. And if they make it seamless where you just pop it in the dock and it goes up on your screen, you pull it out of the dock and it shows right up on the screen, of the Switch, where you go right from your television to the screen on the Switch seamlessly, that's a pretty big deal, man. And for an adult, you know, a lot of people think, oh, portable gaming, it's for kids. No, as an adult, sometimes you need to go all over the place. And, you know, there's things that you need, you know, you're on a business trip, you're in college or whatever the case may be, or you're at work and maybe you have an hour and a half break or an hour break. Having something like the Switch is awesome because and on top of it too, if it does get a bunch of third-party games, you're going to get the full experiences. So if you're on the go, you're playing the same game that when you say it has Dark Souls 3, say they actually do get Dark Souls 3 to work, you could play Dark Souls 3 at home on your TV. Oh, you know, I'm going to bring it to work on my lunch break. I'm going to bring the Switch with me, the 2 controllers on the side. I'm going to play Dark Souls 3 and maybe I can complete whatever. Well, it's Dark Souls 3. Lord knows what you can complete, but you get the point. You'll have the same game on the go that you'll have on your big screen TV. And if third-party developers really jump on the Switch, that could be groundbreaking, man. And the Switch could be a really, really, really big deal. If it's successful, if it gets the third-party support, and if it actually is as seamless as Nintendo showed, at least when they showed it on the Jimmy Fallon show. Now, with my enthusiasm that I just displayed to you and showing you, you know, why I'm excited about the Switch by showing you the K1 Shield, do I still have concerns about the Switch? Yes, I have concerns about it. How much storage is it going to have? If third-party developers do want to bring games to it, if it doesn't have enough storage, what's going to happen with updates and patches and DLC? Because you may hate DLC, but let's face it, DLC is a very important part of the industry, and developers will shy away from the Switch if they can't bring their DLC, their paid DLC, over to the Switch. What's the deal with that? Is it going to have enough storage? Can you add enough storage? Can I add maybe in the future a 2 terabyte micro SD card? Or are they going to cut it off at 128 gigabytes, which is not enough? That's my concern. My other concern is the power. Let's keep it real, because we keep hearing conflicting reports. Some are saying, oh, the Switch, it's powerful enough, you'll be fine. You know, third-party devs is running Unreal Engine 4. And then you have other people saying, no, there's no way. It's more along the lines of a beefier 360 and PS3. So I am concerned, but I do want the Switch to be successful because Nintendo with the Switch is kind of looking into the future. I said this in the past, back in 2012, that there's going to be a time where you're going to have one device, even smaller than this, that it's going to be your productivity device where you're editing videos, where you're typing up reports, where you're doing, you know, your taxes, whatever the case may be. And then you're going to take the device, put it into the dock like the Nintendo Switch, and then you're going to watch TV. Maybe even live TV. I'm not even talking like Netflix or whatever the case may be. Then you'll watch Netflix. Then you'll, you know, download a game similar to Steam, and then you're going to be playing games on that same device. You'll bring it to say you want to bring it to your bedroom and play a game that way. There'll be another dock like the Switch, and then you'll play it on the other dock and that TV in your bedroom. One day that's going to happen where you have one device that does everything, and the Switch is kind of going in that direction. So in a way, even if the Switch isn't successful, it kind of is the future. Now, the other thing that concerns me if the Switch isn't successful, and I hope that it is what will happen to Nintendo if the Switch does fail. I think this, and I know I think I said this when the Wii U, if it flopped, and guess what? Spoiler alert, it did. That I was thinking, oh, Nintendo, if the Wii U flops, they're going to come out with some beast of a system. don't really know if you would call the Switch a beast of a system. But what will happen this time? I don't know. What I think what will happen is that that'll actually, what I said in the past about, you know, if the Wii U flop will come true, Nintendo will try one more time and make a beast of a system, you know, that will finally compete with their peers or their contemporaries or their competition. And it might be too little too late. People won't trust them again. And I don't want to see that happen, because I do love Nintendo, guys. I do love Nintendo. I think if it wasn't for Nintendo, we wouldn't have this industry right now. We wouldn't have an industry that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. We wouldn't have PC gaming as big as it is. We wouldn't have console gaming as big as it is. We wouldn't have mobile gaming as big as it is. Gaming, the reason the gaming is where it is primarily is because of Nintendo. It really is. And I want to see them successful. And the features of the Switch as an adult gamer, and they even, like I said, they even cater to adult gamers in their initial reveal of the Switch, is very enticing, because someone who constantly has to be on the go and it's all over the place, whether out and about outside of my house or inside of my house because of my son and other things going on, to be able to have a AAA experience everywhere you go, kind of like what you could do with the Tegra K1, like I said, it's not as powerful, is enticing as a grown man. It is. So I want to see it successful so I could get a huge library of games for the Switch, and I could see Nintendo prosper again in the home console market. Because I don't know, if Nintendo leaves the home console market, even if they ever become third party, it won't be the same. It won't be the same. It was Nintendo that made, like I said in the beginning of this video, made me passionate about gaming the way I am, and I want to see them be successful. I want to see everyone in the industry be successful. So it is what it is, guys. The Switch is the direction Nintendo wanted to take with their 9th gen hardware, and I'm going to get it day one. As soon as I find out pre-orders are ready, I'm going to go put money down to pre-order it, and I wish Nintendo the best, and I like the concept, and I hope to see it be successful. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.